Good day and welcome to a very special What's Happening MoCo update. We're talking snow, we're talking safety. Are you and your loved ones ready for Snowmageddon?
What? Good day and welcome to What's Happening MoCo, an authentic, unscripted podcast from your Montgomery County government. Now, here's your host, Derek Kenny.
We're here with Pete Peringer. Okay, I called it Snowmageddon. I don't know how many inches we're going to get. It's a DC area. We can get 1 inch. We could get 12 inches. We can get 15 inches. Well, you're not a meteorologist, Pete, but you are the public information officer for fire and rescue.
I play a meteorologist on television, but that being said, hey, I don't want this to be a snow job.
Okay.
But we have been paying attention to the weather, and of course, as we have experienced years in, years out, things change. And but this one seems like it's credible that we're going to get some snow, and maybe some ice. So obviously, your fire rescue and our partners in public safety have been preparing for a couple of days. Right. We're ready for the weekend, but we hope to tell everybody, give some advice. It was a beautiful day on Thursday.
Yeah.
Friday's going to be kind of a nice day. Use these
wow.
days to get ready for what's potentially going to come.
Now, when you say get ready, there's different things that people are doing to get ready. Some of them may be appropriate, and some of them may not be appropriate. So, of course, we're not talking about necessarily getting all the toilet paper and water that you can get from Costco. What are some of the things people need to be doing to get ready? Let's maybe have a top 5. So.
Yeah, well, let's maybe keep it in context. I mean, this could be like, a storm we haven't had in a decade.
Oh, no.
And thinking back in that time, we've had some pretty significant weather. And, some of us were out of power for a week, for 1 week. Okay. And so potentially that's what we're looking at for this storm. So that being said, most likely is going to happen is some power outages. And before we get there, though, we hope that just like any other day, people have a working smoke alarm on every level of their home.
Okay.
Have an escape plan, know what to do. Close before you doze. Close your door at nighttime. Wintertime is typically a busy time of year for us for fires.
Okay.
Number one cause of fire year-round is cooking, unattended cooking.
Okay.
But this time of year, it's related to heating equipment. We've already had several fires caused by combustibles too close to a heating source or a space heater. We've had a couple of fires related to electrical overloads and things of that nature. So when you have these weather events, people are indoors a lot. You have kids, pets, distractions, certainly holiday season.
Certainly.
So all those things come into play. But, heating safely, and whether it be the fire pit, or wood-burning stove, space heater. Of course, we don't want people to use a stovetop or oven for a heating source.
Okay, so there's, and I understand some people, and if you have a gas stove or electric stove, you're talking about opening up the oven and turning on the oven to whatever you can get it on to generate heat for your house. Yeah, that's not a good idea.
No. Okay. And the power companies and others have been giving out some advice here the last couple of days on how to compartmentalize your home, open the shades, close the doors, put on a sweater, have extra blankets, those types of things to keep warm in the event that you have a power outage. But now's the time to plan before all this happens.
Right.
Make sure that you have your flashlights work, you have some way to charge and your electronic devices in the event that you have an emergency. And those types of things is what we should be doing now.
All right, so those are some of the things we should be doing. What things should we not be doing? When the snow starts and there's a couple inches on the ground, what do we want to discourage people from doing?
Well, from a fire rescue point of view, that's one thing. But before we get there, it's like if you don't have to go out. So, I think we're fortunate this is a weekend. Yeah. Fortunate for the general public because it allows the work crews to get out there, treat the roads. They've already been treating the roads for a couple of days now already with the liquid treatment. But there's going to be maybe some significant plowing taking place and that sort of thing. So just let the crews work. If you don't have to go out, or drive anyway, don't. If we have that ice accumulation, it doesn't take much ice to cause a big problem. Be mindful of that first step out of your house. Your sidewalk, your steps might be slick. Certainly parking lots, overpasses, bridges, things of that nature, the usual stuff. All those things are things to be mindful if you're a motorist. Pedestrian, same thing. If you come across a slick situation, walk like a penguin, just kind of take small steps and,
All right.
shuffle around, those types of things. But, we're not quite there yet. Now's the time we should be planning about these things, thinking about these things. Make sure or gather those things that you would typically have in your emergency kit. In this particular case, you might want to think about, it's going to be cold all week. They're predicting next week.
Oh, wow.
So, extra blankets, things that might help keep you warm.
All right, fantastic. And that's in case there's some type of electrical emergency or you lose electricity. And it's not only the grid going necessarily, there's branches and things like that. Because I believe I was in a meeting earlier today and they said the trees haven't seen a snow like this in quite some time, meaning that if there are power lines around, the trees may not be ready to sustain the weight of a heavy snow, right?
Yeah. So that's one thing. I think that's the most likely major, widespread thing that will occur. The power outages. Right. How that occurs, comes in a variety of ways. But that is one thing to be concerned about. Of course, we're concerned about your health and well-being.
Of course,
the vulnerable community. Some younger kids or older adults. Or maybe people that have mobility issues, keep an eye on them. Maybe be a good neighbor. Keep an eye on those folks. Make sure that they have what they need before the storm comes. We have a couple days. Let's work on that.
And this might be a premium time for accessing emergency services. What are some of the situations that you'd like people to not call 911, but to call an alternative number or do some type of alternative outreach to get support?
Yeah, of course, we have 311. Weekend will be a little different, but, the 911 is for emergencies. And if you believe you're having an emergency or someone is having an emergency, absolutely call 911. We want you to call 911. Right. Our communication personnel, emergency communication personnel are very good. What you should expect when you call 911 all the time is, you're going to get a series of questions. First of all and foremost, know your address and what's the emergency. That'll get us off to a good start. Then they'll ask some questions on, to make sure that we can send the appropriate, have an appropriate response. That being said, we're doing a lot of work right now in fire rescue to prepare and able to respond. We are planning to upstaff some apparatus. We're bringing in some reserve apparatus, have that ready reserve apparatus. Our volunteers are stepping up. We're putting additional equipment into service. We're anticipating, a big deal here. So, we'll be ready to respond. But, we hope that nobody will have to call us. But, it's going to be problematic for us possibly to get around. But we think we're ready to go and have all the appropriate things lined up.
All right. Well, we definitely talked to Department of Transportation, Tim Serrano. He's the manager for the Storm Center over there at the Department of Transportation. So they've been treating all week. The plows are ready. They're ready to go. They ask that people, of course, stay off the roads. But if you do see a big truck, whether it's a plow or a salt truck, stay out the way, give it some berth. Don't try to speed by or do anything distracting. Kind of use your sense. Let's play devil's advocate here. And not necessarily we're hoping that this might happen, but if something happens to someone that's shoveling or walking and there's a fall or there's a heart attack, but it's cold outside, how should they be treated? Should we, and I'm not sure if you can answer this question, but how do you respond in that situation? Your husband or your wife has been out shoveling snow. They've had an incident. They fall. Do you leave them where they are? Do you bring them in? How do we respond in that moment?
Well, like anything in that situation, it depends on the situation and what's going on. Hopefully, we'll prevent that from occurring in the first place. So
yes.
If you're not of good health, to have somebody else shovel
Okay.
If it's icy and slick outside, and you have mobility issues, you might want to eliminate that
Right. Yeah.
from your list. But that being said, just treat it like any other emergency. Call 911. The sooner we get called, the sooner we can get there and help. But it really depends, and we'd like to think that a lot of our community is already trained and have some first aid training, whether it be CPR. You have some things there that you can help. But if you call 911, the 911 communication personnel will help you through. They'll ask you some questions, prompt you, and maybe give you some advice. How to stop bleeding, how to perform CPR, whatever the case might be.
All right. So we've talked so far about being ready in case of outages, whether that's electrical wires going down or brownouts or whatever. Extra blankets, flashlights, candles? No?
Oh, man, candles are a big no.
Candles are a no. Okay.
We like the flameless candles,
Okay.
battery operated. They have some very nice ones now, but any kind of open flame, we're not going to like that. So that is a significant cause of fire. This time of year with the holidays, there's a lot of celebrations that involve candles. So it's just like, if you leave a room, if you have a candle and you leave the room, snuff it out before you leave.
Right. And watch your stove, monitor your stove. If you're cooking or your kids are home and they want to help mom and daddy out and they want to cook, still keep tabs on things.
Well, stand by your pan. So, same thing. The number one cause of fire year round is unattended cooking.
Oh, gosh.
So there's a lot of distractions. If you have pets or kids, create that safety zone around. Right. Kids often help out when the weather's bad. You might be cooking an extra batch of cookies or whatever. Just kind of keep an eye on it and have a plan. Little planning goes a long way when you're cooking. But basically, if you do have a flare up, say a grease fire, you can just put a lid on it, snuff it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and you're also saying that once we finish cooking the cookies, don't accidentally leave the oven open, heating the kitchen and the dining room and the living room through your oven. Don't do that.
Yeah, well, when you finish the cookies, that's the time to call the fire department. We'll help you come finish them up.
So call What's Happening MoCo. Derek loves cookies.
We thank that. We thank you for that.
Okay.
But yes, time to time, people, they're cold. They think that the quick fix might be to turn the oven on and open the oven door.
Right.
Not a great idea.
Okay.
But space heaters, while we're on the subject, are for the heat of space typically.
Right.
So again, if you close doors, compartmentalize, and that will keep that room warm. But if you're going to leave, turn it off.
All right,
before you leave, and don't sleep with a space heater on.
Okay. Now, this is a weekend. We mentioned earlier that a lot of people are able to relax, watch the football games. I think there's 2 games this weekend, of course. Commanders are not playing, unfortunately, and Dallas is not playing, which is a good thing. But you'll still be working. Fire and Rescue will still be working. Department of Transportation will still be working.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll be able to connect with you guys as things develop. Or if there's messages that you want to share with the public, perhaps we can connect What's Happening MoCo with you guys and share updates over the weekend.
Sure. We're 24/7, 365 all the time anyway. But
Okay.
This weekend, yes, we are gearing up, and I know Chief Smedley will be available and keep an eye on things. We do have our Joint Operations Center is being upstaffed, and that's a combination of public safety, emergency management, police, and fire, of course. That helps us manage the situation. We do have extra staffing coming in, career and volunteer. So, we're going to be there, and should somebody need our help, we'll be there.
Fantastic. And I was reminded earlier today that though the county has done a fantastic job in the past of clearing up snow and ice and all those things, this snowstorm may be a little different. So the expectations might be tempered a bit, especially if we have more than several inches of snow or more than a mild accumulation of ice.
Yeah, my experience watching those workers in the big storms we've had in the past, they do a great job. They'll make a pass through. I mean, we're a big county, but they will, they have a plan, and they usually make a pass, at least one pass through neighborhoods, but then it might snow a couple more inches.
Wow.
And on top of that, they'll be back. But they and if there's a special problem, of course they pay attention to hospitals,
Right.
fire stations, police stations, things of that nature, main thoroughfares. We have state highway, state roads also is quite involved. So there's a lot going on. They have a plan. I think you can even monitor, where the trucks are nowadays. But
Yep.
it's they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's a big job.
Yep. And I believe Tim said the URL to monitor snow activity in the county is montgomerycountymd.gov //snow. Pretty easy to remember. You can check out where the trucks are because they do have GPSs in the trucks. You can see if they're getting to your neighborhood. But remember, no matter how important your neighborhood street is to you, the hospitals, the other places where emergency services needs to function are probably the biggest priorities, right?
Yeah, but we know, my experience is that everybody in Montgomery County lives next door to somebody important.
Right. And everybody is somebody in Montgomery County, Maryland.
That's right.
That's right, no matter who you are. And we'll be talking to all you guys later. Hopefully, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this information with others that need to know how to function in the snow. And look forward to updates from the What's Happening MoCo podcast this weekend as we look forward to Snowmageddon, or significant snowfall, maybe some ice. Whatever comes your way, we'll have an update for you there. Thanks to Pete Peringer and Fire and Rescue for the time today and all the great tips that will help keep us safe and warm through this weekend.
I know you're wrapping up, but one last thing.
All right, yes, sir.
Maybe ask everybody to adopt the fire hydrant that's in front of your house.
All right.
When the snow piles up, please clear it in case we need it.
All right. And so if there's a fire hydrant there, you want to dig out how much, like a foot on each
About
side?
3 feet. About 3 feet would be good.
Okay, so in addition to the sidewalk, if you have a fire hydrant, we need 3 feet on each side of the so the fire people can get
So
to it. Okay.
WSSC has a program, and as does Montgomery County Fire and Rescue.
Okay.
Adopt the hydrant. A lot of good information on there. If you need to find out where your closest hydrant is,
wow.
you can go on there. But just think of that when the time comes to shovel.
That's good to know. I'm not even sure if anyone would think about that. If anything, they may be piling more snow on top of the hydrant as opposed to making sure that it's accessible. Well, thanks again for being here today. And remember, close those ovens if you're not baking cookies. Turn them off if you're not cooking. Monitor closely. Be careful with the space heaters. Compartmentalize to be more efficient with your heat. And if you're not in shape enough to shovel snow or walk on ice, don't try it.
Right.
So to speak. Okay, great. And that's What's Happening MoCo. Talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for listening to What's Happening MoCo. Please subscribe via your favorite podcasting platform and follow us on Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by County Cable Montgomery, your source for news and information from the Montgomery County government. Connect with us via cable, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube by searching for County Cable MoCo.